In a quiet little town nestled between rolling hills and tall pine trees, lived a 12-year-old boy named Liam. He was a shy, observant child who liked to read books more than play video games. And he often watched the world around him with thoughtful eyes. His town wasn't extraordinary. It had a library, a grocery store, and a small cafe, but something was missing. And Liam could feel it in his heart. People had become ... distant. They rushed past each other on sidewalks without a smile. Cashiers went through the motions with blank stares. Even kids in his class seemed to care more about being right than being kind. Liam didn't know exactly when it started, but he knew something needed to change. One evening, while helping his mom at the community center, he found a dusty old book on a shelf titled The Ripple Effect: How Small Acts of Kindness Change the World. Liam flipped it open. One line stood out. Kindness is like a stone thrown in water. One ripple leads to another. That night, lying in bed, Liam whispered to himself, "I'm going to throw the first stone." The first ripple. Next morning, Liam did something small but deliberate. He saw Mr. Thompson, the grumpy neighbor who rarely smiled, struggling to carry a box to his porch. Liam ran over and offered help. Mr. Thompson stared at him like he'd grown a second head. "You don't have to," the man said stiffly. "I want to," Liam replied simply. Mr. Thompson grunted, but let him take the box. After placing it gently on the porch, Liam smiled and waved. To his surprise, Mr. Thompson gave a slight nod and muttered, "Thanks, kid." It wasn't a big moment, but it was something. Kindness at school. Liam started small, holding doors open, complimenting classmates, even sharing snacks with kids he didn't normally talk to. He noticed something strange happening. At first, people looked confused, suspicious even. But soon, others started doing the same. Maya, who was always quiet, helped a classmate pick up spilled papers. Jackson, known for being loud and boastful, gave up his spot in the lunch line to a younger student. Liam's homeroom teacher, Mrs. Clements, even mentioned it in class. "Has anyone noticed things feel friendlier lately?" A few heads nodded. "Kindness," she said, "spreads faster than gossip. But only if someone starts it." Liam beamed silently in his seat. A town-transformed word began to travel. Parents at PTA meetings talked about how their kids were acting differently, more considerate, more patient. The local cafe owner, Mrs. Jenkins, started a pay-it-forward board. If you bought a coffee, you could buy an extra one for someone in need. The post office clerk began saying, "Have a beautiful day," instead of just "next." Little things. One day, the mayor posted on Facebook, "I don't know what's going on in our town, but I love it. Keep it up, whoever started this." Liam saw the post and smiled. He didn't want credit. He didn't need a trophy. The change was enough unexpected kindness, but not everything was smooth. One day, Liam stood up for a new student being teased. The bullies didn't take it well. They pushed him, called him names, and left him with a torn backpack. That night, Liam felt like quitting. "Maybe kindness isn't worth it," he mumbled. His mom sat beside him, wrapped an arm around his shoulder, and said, "Kindness isn't about being liked. It's about being brave enough to care when no one else does." He thought about that. The next day, the new student, her name was Nor, walked up to him. "I saw what you did," she said quietly. "Thank you." That was enough to keep going. A movement begins by the end of the semester. Liam's school launched a kindness challenge. Every student had to do 3 kind things a week and write them down. Acts ranged from helping clean up trash to writing anonymous notes of encouragement. Liam's favorite part: watching others become leaders of kindness. 2. One boy, who never spoke much, started a lunch group so no one had to eat alone. A girl made bookmarks with uplifting quotes and hid them in library books. It wasn't perfect, but it was growing. Winter melted into spring, And Liam's quiet movement of kindness had taken root in more than just his school. It was in the town's DNA now. The local newspaper even ran a small article. "The Kindness Kid. One boy's actions spark." A town-wide shift it didn't mention. Liam, by name just, described him as a student who helped his neighbor, stood up for a classmate, and began a ripple. That was enough for Liam. Fame wasn't the point. Change was. But something unexpected was coming. Something big. An email that changed everything one afternoon. Mrs. Clements called Liam after class. "I want to show you something." She turned her laptop toward him. An email was open on the screen. The subject line read, "Possible interview, kindness." Initiative. It was from a national morning TV show based in New York City. "They saw the newspaper story," she said. "They want to feature the town and you on their uplift." America segment. Liam's heart thudded. "Me?" Mrs. Clemens smiled. "You don't have to say yes. I think your story could inspire others." Liam took a deep breath. "Okay, I'll do it." From small town to big screen 2 weeks later, Liam and his mom flew to New York. It was his first time on a plane, and he was equally excited and terrified. When they reached the studio, Liam could barely speak from nerves. The host, a friendly woman named Rachel, knelt beside him before the cameras rolled. "You've done something incredible, Liam," she said. "Just speak from your heart." The lights turned on. The interview began. Rachel asked simple questions. What started it all? Why kindness? How can other kids join in? Liam answered honestly. "I just felt like the world needed a little more good. I didn't know it would spread. I just wanted to try." The audience applauded. Some even wiped their eyes. That night, the segment aired across the country. Kindness goes viral within 48 hours. Liam's story exploded online. Hashtags like #RippleOfKindness and #BeLikeLiam began trending. Thousands of parents, teachers, and kids commented, "We started a kindness tree at our school because of Liam. My son helped a stranger after watching the interview. Kindness matters. Thank you, Liam." Even a famous athlete reposted the clip with the caption, "This kid's got more heart than half the league. Salute." Liam didn't care about the fame. He just hoped people meant it when they said they'd do better. Kindness kits back home. The community center where Liam first found the book, The Ripple Effect, launched a project called Kindness Kits. Each kit had a journal for tracking kind acts, stickers, and bookmarks with uplifting quotes, a pass-it-on bracelet, a little guide called 10 Ways to Be Kind. Every day Liam helped design the guide. His favorite tip was, listen like it's the most important thing you'll do all day. The kits were sent to schools across the country. Some even made it to the UK and Canada after a group of teachers abroad reached out. When kindness gets tested, but as the movement grew, so did criticism. Some people online claimed it was too cheesy. Others said, one kid can't change the world. Even a few classmates began rolling their eyes when kindness was brought up. It hurt more than Liam expected. One afternoon, he sat alone in the park, staring at the lake his friend Noor found. "Him there? You okay?" He shrugged. Maybe it was just a phase. People move on, they forget. She sat beside him. Some will, but not all. And even if one person stays kind because of you, that's still worth it. Liam nodded slowly. "I just don't want it to stop." Noor smiled. "Then don't stop throwing stones." The new pledge. Liam returned to school the next week. With a new idea, he handed out small cards that read, "The Kindness Pledge today. I will do at least one thing to make someone's day better without expecting anything back." He didn't force anyone to take one. He just left them in lockers, on desks, and in the library. Some kids ignored them, but some didn't. And those were enough. 3 years later, Liam was now 15. Kindness had become part of his identity. But, more importantly, had become part of the community. The town held an annual Ripple Day, where everyone committed to at least 3 kind acts. The local high school even added a kindness leadership program, helping students organize projects like clothing drives, peer support clubs, and even mental health walks. Liam didn't lead all of them anymore. That was the best part. Others had taken up mission kids he'd never met, from places he'd never been. One girl in Toronto created kindness walls at bus stops. A boy in Birmingham started compliment cards for strangers. A teacher in Texas used Liam's original pledge in her classroom. It wasn't about Liam anymore, it was about them. About us. Final words from Liam. In a short video posted online, Liam shared one final message. You don't need to change the whole world. Just your part of it. Start small. Be real. Stay kind, especially when it's hardest. The rest will follow.